If you're watching this because you've left a high control religion, or you're in the process of leaving and everything feels confusing, unsettled, or strangely unreal, I want to begin by saying this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. Feeling lost right now doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you've broken something inside yourself. And it doesn't mean you've made a mistake. What you're experiencing is a transition, one that very few people are prepared for, and one that almost no one explains properly. When you step away from a belief system that once structured your entire life, the ground beneath you can suddenly feel unstable. Things that used to feel simple, decisions, values, relationships, even your sense of who you are can start to feel unfamiliar. You might notice that your thoughts feel scattered, that your emotions feel louder or harder to manage, or that you're questioning things you never had the space to question before. That disorientation can be frightening, and it often comes with a quiet, persistent thought, why can't I just get myself together? But this confusion isn't a personal flaw. It's a predictable response to a very real psychological shift. When you spend years, sometimes decades, inside a high control environment, your beliefs, your moral compass, your identity, and your sense of certainty are externally organized. Many decisions are made for you. Many questions are answered before you ever have the chance to ask them. And over time, your inner world adapts to that structure. So when you leave, it's not just a belief system you lose an entire internal framework. And when that framework disappears, your mind doesn't instantly replace it with clarity. It pauses, it recalibrates. It tries to understand what's safe now and what isn't. That pause can feel like something important has gone missing, but in reality, something is reorganizing. William Bridges, a psychologist who studied life transitions, explained that the most unsettling part of a change isn't the ending or the beginning, it's the middle. The phase where the old structure has fallen away, but the new one hasn't formed yet. He called this the neutral zone. And he warned that people often mistake this phase for failure or instability, when in reality it's a necessary psychological reorganization. What feels like confusion is often your mind learning how to function without the structure it once relied on. I want to briefly say something about why I'm here. I was raised in a high control religion myself. I left it. And I've lived through the confusion, the loss, and the slow process of rebuilding that comes after. I'm not speaking to you from theory or from a distance, but I'm also not here to tell my story today. This space isn't about me. It's about helping you understand what you're experiencing at a pace that doesn't overwhelm you. Because what often happens after leaving is that people rush themselves. They feel pressure to immediately figure out who they are now and to replace certainty with new answers, to rebuild confidence, purpose, or meaning like all at once. And that pressure usually makes things harder. Right now, clarity is not the goal. Stability is. It's important to understand this. The confusion you're feeling is not chaos, it's reorganization. Your mind is learning how to function without an external authority, constantly telling it what to think, what to feel, and who to be. That takes time. And it's uncomfortable precisely because it's new. This is also why small decisions can suddenly feel overwhelming, why you might second guess yourself more than you ever have, or why you feel emotionally exposed or unsure of your own judgment. These aren't signs that you're incapable. They're signs that your internal compass is being rebuilt. One of the most helpful things you can do in this phase is to resist the urge to rush ahead of yourself. You don't need to know who you are yet. You don't even need to have the answers. You don't need to replace one belief system with another. And you certainly don't need to become a better version of yourself right now. What you need first is safety, internal safety. That means allowing confusion without treating it as a problem to be fixed, allowing uncertainty without seeing it as a failure, and giving yourself permission to move slowly, even when everything inside you wants certainty again. Over the coming weeks, this channel will focus on helping you stabilize after leaving. We'll talk about guilt, shame, embarrassment, fear, loneliness, and the emotional aftermath that so often gets overlooked. Not to analyze you, but to normalize what you're going through and help you feel less alone in it. You don't have to push yourself forward yet. You don't have to rebuild your identity yet. And you don't have to know where this journey leads. For now, it's enough to recognize this. You are not broken. You are not weak. And you're not failing at this. In the next video, we'll talk about something many people worry about quietly but rarely say out loud. The fear that they're losing their mind. We'll look at what psychological transition actually feels like after leaving a high control environment, and why the confusion, emotional swings, and mental fog you might be experiencing are not signs of instability, but signs of adjustment. There's nothing you need to do before then, nothing you need to prepare. Just notice what it feels like to let yourself move at a human pace. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.